So Brandon gave us a control that was like doing some sort of count. Can somebody make that into a detective control? They would compare it to what the person actually ordered to know if it's right. So would Alex's control be a detective or a preventative control? It'd be preventative, because the first thing he said was before the shipment goes out. What if after the shipment went out, I counted the number of items in the shipment from the shipping documents and compared it to the number of items on the sales order? Would that still be a preventative control? No, it'd be detective, right? That's why that word matters on your exam. Because if I ask you for a detective one, you have to let me know that you know what it is. But back to Brandon's example though. This was an example of a detective control, I think, right? So in that case, you could count, like we said, you can count the number of items on the shipping document because the box is already shipped. You can't count what's in there, right? And compare with the number of items on the sales order to see if it's different. If you did that, what risk would the company be mitigating specifically? If the detective control was that someone, after the items have been shipped, someone compared the number, or counted the number of items on the shipping document, compared that with the number of items shipped on the, or number of items ordered on the sales order. If an employee did that, what's the risk? What is that control supposed to be doing? What is its purpose? If I counted the number of items on the shipping document and counted the number of items on the sales order, would it tell me that a purple Nike hoodie was shipped? So it does tell me that something matches, but what is it specifically? Quantity. That was the only word missing. It was just quantity. Making sure that the quantities match. Why did we even go through this exercise? Because you are going to have to do that. Eventually, you're going to have to go back and tell me, okay, if this is what the control is, what's the purpose of it? What's the risk, right? And again, if we have more time, you get to practice that in class on Wednesday, right? Any questions about this? The shipping process. So we remember what happens during this process. When we went over the flow chart last week, we talked about the fact that this is where items are picked, packaged, and shipped off. We're not talking about delivery or transport. We're talking about the act of shipping, right? So notice we didn't talk about invoicing yet. We didn't talk about billing. Even though we mentioned that the sales order during this process, we only did it so that we can compare the shipping documents to what the customer actually ordered, not because we're talking about the sales ordering process.